Night Magic. It's going to be a bit of a different one. Bit rushed. I can't be on late. I gotta get up early tomorrow morning to go to work. But the foundation stuff that we opened, and we did it as a premiere because I was on night shifts, but we did it as a premiere last week. When I was going through that, it reminded me of other starter magic products. Why is everybody coming in right now? Hi, Isabel. So there have been many things over the years. Dual decks was one.
There's dinosaurs.
Little T there to help. Yeah, they've been putting dinosaurs in magic sets for a little while now. The first one I remember was an Ice Age. There was a Pygmy Allosaurus, which I believe had Swamp Walk. It was a very strange design. It was just a 2/2 for 3. And, oh, welcome, Trainer Broly. Nice to see you. Welcome, Founder, as well. Yeah. We still got a late supper in the works, too, so this is going to be a bit more background noise than usual. Let's flip this around and talk about some of these products. So, this Splellslinger set came out. Oh, it's been a while. Where's the date on these? 2018. So this is about 6 years ago. And you can see it featured dinosaurs there.
Dad,
What is it, Thomas?
there it says age 13.
Yeah. The game is generally recommended for a 13 and up.
And I'm 13.
Right.
So maybe I could give it a try sometime.
That would be fun.
Maybe I could play a game with you.
Maybe. Not tonight, though. We're not set up for that just yet. So the thing came with 2 decks. You got a basic rule book, which gives you just sort of the lowdown. Welcome to Magic the Gathering, how to play. Generic information about cards, creature types, the colors, all that good stuff. As a introductory product should. Keywords and concepts. Very, very brief. And it was set up so that your first game, you weren't supposed to shuffle the decks. They were preset for what your draws are supposed to do, and it would teach interaction that way. That's long since passed with these. We'll go through the decks. Interestingly, you got a white-red deck, and you got a green-black deck. So they didn't include blue. For a starter product, while I started, I loved blue, learning, but I understand why often blue is not used for introductory materials, because it tends to be hi, Hungry Hollow. Well, thanks for stopping by. It tends to be very intensive in terms of interaction. So you get more things like counter spells, bounce mechanics, things like that. Which, while they're very important concepts to learn, they might not be what you want to be teaching first and foremost. So, let's take a quick look through the green and black deck here. You got classic creature types like elves, reclamation, sage, destroy target artifact or enchantment when it comes into play. So by this point, that sort of enters the battlefield stuff was very common. Here's our dinosaur. We got a colossal dreadmaw. Look at the art there. Great big T-Rex type shape. Now, in foundations, for this casting cost, the old Crawworm cost was just a 6/4. This is a 6/6 trample, so this is already power crept over what they used to be initially. But now, I believe I saw one that was like Apex Herbivore or something, at least described that way in the flavor text, that was 12/8 for your 6. I can't believe how big they're making these generic green creatures now. I mean, 6 drops in general have to be pretty strong these days, because Usually by then the game's wrapping up pretty soon. Ravenous Chupacabra, 2/2 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. So this is your basic. The first creature they made that really did this to good effect was Necrotal. So that was a 2/1 first strike. This is just a 2/2, same casting cost. But this doesn't have to worry about whether the creature is black. Hey, welcome, Tank. Thanks for coming. Here's Impale, just a 4-cost sorcery, destroy a creature. Creature removal spells are one thing that I've noticed haven't improved since the good old days. Things like Swords to Plowshares hasn't really ever been surpassed. There are different things for black now other than Terror, but yeah. Terror would have been the closest to this. It couldn't hit artifacts or black creatures, but
Should I show them what I made?
it cost half as much and was an instant.
Because we wanted to.
Yeah, this is why our dinner is so late. We decided to start making a turkey dinner after the kids got home from school.
5.
That was not ideal.
But Abram really wanted
Don't
turkey.
recommend it.
Abram
But
really wanted
we had the turkey thawed, and yeah. So, Ursine Champion. You know, it's interesting looking at these and comparing it to the Foundation stuff we looked at last week and just see how things have changed, in my opinion, anyway. You get a 2/2 Berserker, basically a grizzly bear, 2/2 for 2, and ability to pay 6 to get +3/+3 becomes a bear berserker until end of turn.
Okay, I'm stealing my iPad so I can watch.
Right.
Sorry.
Grazing Whiptail, another dinosaur, 3/4 reach for 4. This would be replacing the giant spider type. 4-cost, 2/4 reach. Got our forest, a bristling boar. So here's a big beater that's not a dinosaur. Titanic Growth, +4/+4 for 2. Greenwood Sentinel, Vigilance, 2/2 for 2. Get some elves in there. Hitherclaw Recluse. Here's your spider that costs 3.
You know what? I got
another Titanic Growth. So you get some duplication in here as well. But these are not. I don't think we've seen a single creature in here that's vanilla, but they're definitely more vanilla than the creatures in Foundations. There's really been a push to put extra abilities on things lately.
What does vanilla mean?
Vanilla means no keyword abilities, no extra enter the battlefield abilities, no, how many, it's just basically a 3/3 or a 4/4 or whatever it is creature. So here's a 3/3 for 3 with pay 5, return Jungle Creeper from your graveyard to your hand. So you get some recursion elements coming in here, which for green-black is very common. Declared Dominance, 5 cost. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. All creatures able to block it this turn do so. So you get a bit of a lure effect. I think something else is coming in here to show off.
Yummy. My favorite ginger ale. Well, second favorite, maybe. I don't know.
All right. I remember I used to throw one of these in my Eureka deck. Just as a 7/7 trample for 7. Nice sized body to throw out for free. But when it enters the battlefield, gain 7 life, and when it dies, draw a card. So you're getting some value out of it anyway, even if it is pretty. Founder likes Canada Dry. Yep. It is one of the better ginger ales in my opinion. Moment of Craving. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life for 2. In the Foundations, they had a instant that gave -2/-2 to a creature until end of turn for 1 black. So it didn't have the extra life for a colorless. But very similar in that regard. Prodigious Growth, 6-cost enchantment. Target creature gets +7/+7 and trample. Makes anything big. Here's your good old classic Llanowar elf. 1/1 for green. Even these have changed over the years. These didn't used to be druids. It was just an elf before. Centaur Courser. 3/3 for 3. Centaurs and Magic have been interesting. I don't remember any Centaurs in Alpha. There was the card Paralyze, which had the Centaur pictured being afflicted. But the first Centaur I remember entering the game was Windseeker Centaur as a promo card. And then a little while later, you got Jor-El Centaur in Mirage. Sorry for the slurping. My voice isn't fully recovered yet. And the tea allegedly helps. So, got some nice twisty swamps. Some of the art on these lands I've always appreciated. Vampire Sovereign. 3/4 flying for 5. Whenever Vampire Sovereign enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. Foul Orchard comes into play tapped, gives you both colors. Here's the face card of the deck, basically. Galta Primal Hunger. 12 cost for a 12/12 trample. But it costs X less to cast,
Just
where
roll
X
through
is
them.
the total
Maybe I'll
power
fit in there.
of the creatures you control. So, if you get a couple of your creatures on the board, one's got 3 power and another's got 5 power, well, you can knock
I
a
just leave it
whopping
in the
8
top. I'll
off
fix
the
it that
cost
way.
of this one, and it can come down pretty cheap. You know, and again, 12/12, the dinosaur that I was recalling from Foundations there, that was a 12/8, just straight up for 6. Yeah, I mean, this can definitely rival that in the right situation. We got our
Ooh, I like that
Gravewalker.
bird.
That's another rare. Bird Spirit.
That looks
5/5 for 6 flying. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So it can bring back your other creatures, which is a nice ability too, but that is expensive. Foul Orchard again. Verdant Sun's Avatar. I did like some of the rares they included in these. I thought they picked some decent ones that had some interesting effects to teach the game, but were also reasonably useful and powerful in a sense, although they're not tournament grade cards. A Bluebird. Nice. 7 for a 5/5. When it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So again, green, gaining life. Lots of good stuff there. Got some more repeats of our other cards here. Walking Corpse is a basic 2/2 zombie for 2. Colossal Dreadmaw we've seen. Yep, seen all these I think now. Yeah. Oh, no, this one, Vigilant Bailoff. 5/5 Vigilance for 5. Just got a very freaky smile on him. Villagers employ watchdogs as guardians and companions. Druids prefer something a little bigger. Nice flavor text. Another elf. Another Reclamation Sage. Yeah. So there's basic green deck, green and black deck, I should say, to play. Learn to play with. For the white and red, I think here you had more. I mean, Lawnmower Elves is pretty iconic throughout the history of the game, but there's some in here too. Inspired Charge. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn for 4. This reminds me a lot of Morale from the Dark, which was an instant for 3 that gave your creatures +1/+1 when attacking or something like that. So a little bit more narrow, but cost a little less too. Knight of New Benelia, so the reference to Benelashiro for people who've been playing that long, but again, this is supposed to be an introductory product. 2 for a 3/1, so a little more aggressive than your standard Grizzly Bear, but fragile, as humans tend to be, or at least used to be. Charging Monstratsar. So, yeah, both sides got dinosaurs. Here, a 5-cost, 5/5 trample haste.
Mm.
That just seems wrong to me because I'm used to, again, the 5/5s being, fire elemental, earth elemental. This is bigger than either of those and has trample and haste. That said, I don't think this keeps up with the current power curve either, so it's long been left behind. Sky Knight Legionnaire, Flying Haste. 2/2 for 3. Get some of the Boros action. The Boros term and the Golgari, I think that was the green-black, those terms that came out during Ravnica block, and then the Shard terms that came out when Shards of Alara for the 3-color combinations. People use those as such shorthand now, and sometimes you need to stop and explain where they came from and why. Luminous Bonds, enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. So this is basically your old pacifism card. Lock down a creature. Cost 1 more. Again, creature. Stuff to deal with creatures is always a little more expensive. 2/3 flying for 3. Exultant Sky Marcher. And you've got some basic land. Lightning Strike.
Ooh, I like my card. That looks cool.
Yeah. Lightning Strike deals 3 damage to any target. So this is basically your watered down Lightning Bolt. Costs 2 instead of 1.
I like the art.
It is neat looking. Rustwing Falcon. 1/2 flying for 1.
It could be really cool.
Bird.
You know people who make bigger pictures out of smaller pictures?
Be basic.
Like they did at the kids' school, at the other school?
Yeah.
That'd be neat if somebody did that with Magic cards. But with like the pictures of them.
Oh, I'm sure it's been done.
That'd be very cool.
Here's a flying dinosaur. Sky Terror Flying Menace for 2/2 for 2.
Oh, excuse me.
That's a pretty cute little thing.
Ginger Ale doing its thing.
Paramantic Pilgrim. 3/1 for 3. Haste.
Meeks. Say hi to Meeks.
Welcome, Meeks. Thanks for joining us. Meeks the Sneaks. Snuck right in here.
Yeah. Love that removal. I definitely always had 3 or 4 of my standard, Lightning Strike.
Yeah. Lightning, whether it was Lightning Bolt or whatever the equivalent was at the time, Shock, Lightning Strike, Incinerate, has always been a popular card, just to either burn the opponent or remove a creature. Very handy.
And then says M19. Ah, good old times.
Dual Shot. Deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures.
Is this like the last?
But creatures only.
The last set you collected before taking a break?
No, this was actually one of the weird little things I picked up after I took my break, just to sort of see what was going on at the time.
Okay.
So, the last set that I picked up heavily before taking my break, I think, was
we did some Stronghold.
Oh, what's it called? Return to Ravnica?
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh, is that when they had the new Angels that came out and stuff like that?
No, Angels were more heavy in the Innistrad block, I think.
Was that the one that we went to the pre-release on?
Might have been.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Goblin Motivator. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. We've seen this one. Knight of New Belnia, we've seen. Mountain.
I don't want to clean
Inspired
up
Charge. Again. Dual Shot. Sky Terror. Some of the rock pinnacles on these mountains and bridges and things are just unreal. Another Lightning Strike. Paramantic Pilgrim. Luminous Bonds. Frenzied Raptor. 4/2 for 3. Definitely bigger than the creatures used to get for 3 as a general rule early on in the game. Definitely on the aggressive side as well. Inspiring Captain. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn when it comes into play. Otherwise, it's basically your White Hill Giant. Silverbeak Griffin. 2/2 flying for 2. Some more planes. Another knight. Another Sky Legionnaire. Moment of Triumph. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 2 life. I mean, it is a common, so comparing it to Righteousness is a 1/1 instant where target creature. I guess this is not you control either. But Righteousness was target creature you control gets +7/+7 till end of turn for 1 white. And it had to be a blocking creature. It was more restrictive. But that's the immediate comparison that comes to mind. I love Magic the Gathering for the nostalgia of it. I have a huge collection from the 90s to 2008. Yep, it was a great little era there. I started playing myself in 95 and got older stuff where I could. And I kept playing until probably about 2011, 2012 maybe. And then took a break for quite a while until I got back in with the Lord of the Rings set. Concept Care, Cracking Doom was dope. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff for sure. Although Concept Care is a set that I've heard the name of, I don't actually know the cards in it very well. Hasty 3/3 Minotaur for 4. We've seen those before. I do like the art on this quarry. I work around a lot of places where you're extracting resources from the ground, so there is some logic to this setup anyway. And there's a Charging Monstrosaur.
Hello, Jensen. How you doing?
Sarah Guardian. Here's one of the rares. Flying, Vigilance. Other creatures you control have Vigilance. 5/5 for 6.
That's a nice looking card.
It is. And that's, again, the card they put on the front of the booklet there.
Oh. I like the art. It's really nice. The dog.
And then you've got a Demanding Dragon. 5/5 for 5 flying. When Demanding Dragon enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target opponent, unless that player sacrifices a creature. A knight's devotion to their steed goes only so far. It's a cute card, nice and flavorful. Yeah, giving your opponents choices over penalties isn't always the best, but, you could argue either way you win. Either it's a 2-for-1 or very aggressive because it gets the extra blow in right away from the 5. I stopped playing after I realized they were never going to stop making endless amounts of Planeswalkers. They've actually slowed down on the Planeswalker production as far as I can see. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Planeswalker card type because both players are supposed to be Planeswalkers in the first place. So I thought that was a little strange. Then you got the classic Shivan Dragon, but without the classic art. I really miss the classic art on Shivan Dragon. Classic fire breathing ability, a red for +1 attack until end of turn. 5/5 flyer. Used to be about pinnacle. If you're looking for a big beater without any downsides, this was about as good as you could get. Closest rival was Mahamati Jin. Anything else comparable had downsides, whether it was Nightmare or Personal Incarnation or
Void.
Anything else. You always had some sort of downside you had to deal with. This was just straight up. Yeah, I did see that. Thanks for joining us, Void. Sun Sentinel again, and Citywide Bust. 3, destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. So there's a sort of a wrath effect that you can work around, and hopefully it hurts your opponent more than you. I just thought this was a neat introductory product. And it shows how things have changed from this point until Foundations. I don't know. I don't think we've got time to really get into much of a game. But we've also got a couple of these dollarama packs. And these are... One thing I do want to try with these another night is using them for pack battles. I think they'd be better for draft. But I'm curious to see how they do for something like a pack battle. I mean, the cost, $1.50 Canadian, that's probably about equivalent these days to $1 or just over $1 in the United States. And, yeah, 15 cards, includes one rare card. And most of these I've seen also include a foil, but that's,
Didn't we get like a couple of them that actually had like a decent value?
well, we've come across a card that's worth $1 or something in these occasionally. I don't think I've come across anything really valuable. Let's get my letter opener out here and take a little look. These are a great option if you're just looking for a games night with some friends. If you got a store that has some, sometimes I like to grab a few and just have a few on hand.
People rage quitting me in PvP. What's PvP? Sorry, Lloyd, I don't. I probably should know.
Is that one of the online ones, player versus player? Or...
Probably.
I'm just gonna put this down so I can put that away. So we got.
Or is that the TCG player thing? I've had people quit on me.
2021. Lifelink 4-3 for 5. Blood Glutton. We've got.
There are a few cards from the Unlimited third run I want to get.
This one's 2021.
Okay.
Third edition. Unlimited.
Vampires,
okay. Unlimited was. Unlimited was basically second edition, and third edition was revised. But yeah, there are some good cards that were still around at that era that hadn't been cut out yet. They thinned them out substantially for revised. They thinned them out again almost as substantially for 4th edition. And by the time you got the 5th edition,
revised,
there weren't any really strong ones left.
You started in revised.
Yeah. Excuse me. So Human Samurai 3/2 for 3. I mean, a samurai or a warrior you control attack alone. Tap target creature you don't control. So yeah, a bit of power creep on the stats, and then the extra ability.
The card upside down.
Yeah, we got a lot of cards upside down here.
Ooh, I like that art.
Sky Swimmer Koi.
I like it.
So it's a flying fish. 3/3 for 4. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it lets you probably be a short dig a bit through your deck. Yeah, what's going on. Yeah. Here's a Gorgon. 3/4 for 4.
My uncle owned the shop. When he closed it down, he gave me literally a truckload of cards. I haven't looked at him in years. White boxes in the shed. Ooh, that could be fun.
There could be some neat stuff in there.
That'd be lots of fun to go through that.
It could be. Farika's Spawn. Yeah, some shops are very well stocked. Some shops, not so much. It really depends on a lot of factors and how well organized they were to begin with.
I'd love to go through Skylar's collection that he left at my mom's. Wouldn't necessarily want to take it on him, but I wouldn't mind going through it. That could be fun. When I say take it, I mean like...
2 counters. When it enters the battlefield this way, each opponent sacrifices a non-Gorgon creature. That could be lethal. Compulsive research I've heard of. Target player draws 3 cards, and then that player discards 2 cards unless they discard a land card. This must be a reprint from an earlier set, because that does sound familiar. Artifact creature Moonfolk Ninja.
That looks neat.
Sabia Trespassers. I remember cards like Mistfolk and Moonfolk were always interesting little additions to try to make things a little more flavorful. 5 for a 3/5 channel. Pay 4, discard the Trespassers. Tap up to 2 target creatures you don't control. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap phase. Interesting. I'd have to brush up on exactly how channel works. Island Swamp enters the battlefield tap, and you can cycle.
Kamigawa set from 2020. You mean the ninja one? Because I think these are just mixed cards.
Yeah, these are from all over the place. This one here is the little TARDIS symbol. So this is from the their Doctor Who set.
Oh, okay.
In fact, that's gold, isn't it? So is this a rare? It is a rare. So fetid pools.
Did they just take like a handful of bulk that somebody brought in or something like that and throw it into these dollar store packs?
Well, they probably had it sorted so that they each got a rare or something.
But why are they in different?
So that might actually have the potential to be worth, you know,
something?
$1 or something. Might be worth looking that one up.
You want me to look it up on the TCG player?
Whatever.
I have a thing open, so.
Futurist Sentinel. This is a vehicle for Crew 3. 6/6 for 5. Vehicles became a thing after I'd started. I found equipment was bizarre enough. As a artifact type, vehicles just seemed a little bit too wonky to me. But
yeah, no, that's like a 16-cent card.
Okay. Not too surprised, to be honest.
Oh, I like that art.
Karametra's Blessing. Tough old stag. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature. Yeah, enchantment creatures were fairly few and far between back when I was playing. I've heard they've become more common since then. There's like 2 or 3 boxes, just white wall of cards, and some of the card symbols are more like hammer, like a palm tree, snowflake, and others. Yeah, so you probably sounds like you got some Mirage, some Mirge's Legacy, Ice Age type stuff. They tend to reuse concepts for the expansion symbols if they're related sets. Commander Sphere, yeah, this has been reprinted umpteen times, I'm sure. Hissian Caratid. Cool. Creature Plant. 1/1 for 2. Tap for 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any one color instead. Well, that's kind of neat. Fairly average mana creature. Cathartic Reunion. Draw 3 cards. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard 2 cards. Okay, so this just lets you dig, basically.
There is a version of this card that is like, it depends on the art, but there's like anywhere ranges from...
Yeah.
From, like I said, the 15 cents up to $3 or something.
It is sort of a dual land, and then it counts as an island or a swamp, so it's easier to tutor for.
That's this one. That's the 16-cent one.
But it enters the battlefield tapped, which is a big downside. It does have the plus that you could cycle it away to draw a card, but it's sort of...
That's the 16-cent one.
The most interesting about this card to me is that expansion symbol, because I don't think I have anything from Doctor Who until now, so...
So, yeah.
There is that. There's that basic island.
I was not supposed to say wake up. I'm using the audio. Oh, you're good.
It feels like a good uncommon and a mediocre rare. Yeah, I would tend to agree. Nessian Wanderer. Ooh, it's a satyr.
I like that.
1/3 for 2. Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
I like the art.
Could be nice for an enchantment deck. Looks like it's got some pretty decent stress at the top of the card there. I don't know.
They wrote, ooh, interesting.
Loathsome Chimera. 4/1 for 3. Escape for 5. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this spell from your graveyard for its escape costs. And if it escapes, it has a +1/+1 counter.
I mean, what do you expect for a dollar store pack, right? I mean, it's...
Yeah. I mean, it's basically what I expect. In terms of the color balance, let's just take a quick look here. So we've got black, white, blue, black, blue, 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 white, artifact, green, red, another land, green, green. So 3 green cards, 4 blue cards, 2 white, 2 black, 1 red. I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
And an artifact, so...
We do have one of those big double packs, like the big... that we got, that we used to have at Dollarama there. Still.
Yeah. I'll save that one for another time.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So, in terms of creatures... 1 creature, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you count vehicles, 8.
Oh, the dogs.
9. So 8 or 9 creatures out of a 15-card pack. That's, again, definitely would be workable for a draft or... Yeah, well, I mean... Again, most packs include a basic land these days, from my experience. Just seems to be the way they like to do, is include 1 basic land in every pack. Revised was notorious in Unlimited, and Beta, I guess, for just having multiple lands, like almost half your pack could be lands. So they've gotten better from those days. But... it is handy to have basic lands available. For pack battles, what I would usually do, if you're just looking for a quick game, and you could do, again, like $3. You could do a pack battle with a pair of these.
Jensen's asking...
That's less than half the value of what you would buy new
Jensen
packs
has a question for you. We're not quite signing off yet, but...
Sorry, Jensen's which?
The second last post.
Hey, before you sign off, any chance you've looked into the Holy Grail card game?
That is. We have not had time. Sorry.
I mean, I can thumb through the binder and see which ones I have doubles of. That's...
He sent me some emails to show you.
Yeah, I need to see the list. If you could either print it out or write it out for me, and then I'll just thumb through and see what I've got.
I'll look at the emails tomorrow. Sorry, it's just, it's been kind of crazy here. And Canada Post
Destroy target creature or planeswalker
on strike anyway, so
instant.
we wouldn't be able to mail anything.
Yeah, that's the other
complicating
there's
factor
no
at the
sign
moment of them coming to a resolution at all in our government. This is the only political thing you'll hear from me, is they're not interfering. So, yeah.
5 cost for an instant to destroy a creature is pretty stinking high, but the ability to hit planeswalkers as well. I mean, there's some value there.
Founder says, definitely worth buying. I'm assuming she means these packs.
I mean, these packs, like I said, the big value for these, you're not going to get any big valuable hits out of them, or at least I wouldn't expect you to.
No, because whoever put these
it would just be something fun. Like, for me, it's fun because this is a lot of sets that I never got any of. So it's a lot of new stuff for me. Also, it's fun for things like if you're going to do a draft with a couple of friends for cheap, or booster battles, which I was trying to outline. For booster battles, just take 2 of each basic land. So that's 10 lands, 2 swamps, 2 plains, 2 islands, 2 forests, 2 mountains, and shuffle all that into a booster pack or one of these 15 card packs at random. That gives you a total of 25 card deck, pretty small, but enough that you can do a quick battle against your opponent, and odds are one of you is going to be struggling for mana, or
a lot of unopened
the
boxes
creatures you
of
get will be
Weatherlight.
pretty random. So, but it can be fun.
Is that the one that's got stuff in the shed?
Enchantment creature. So here's another example of an enchantment creature. Human druid, 3/3 for 4.
That art is neat.
Yeah, the art is neat. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And you can channel, pay 3, discard it, and put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control.
My favorite creatures, the demons and the angels.
Upside down. They've always been things that caught people's eye right back from Sarah Angel and, the Lord of the Pit.
That's an interesting art.
Thundersteel Colossus. It's another vehicle.
It's a humongous thing.
See, vehicles you have to crew. So it's a 7 cost, 7/7 trample haste. It's an artifact creature, sort of. So it's
Hey,
not...
Jenny, how you doing?
Tap any number of creatures
right,
you control with total power 2 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So, being an artifact creature makes it vulnerable because it's vulnerable to 2 types of removal, artifact removal or creature removal. And the fact that you got to lock down creatures to use it, I mean, it is hasty, so you can maybe catch someone by surprise, but 7 is a lot to pay. It is a common.
Orcs were my favorite, says Johnson.
Yeah. Orcs were fun, but they didn't get as much support as goblins.
Ooh, I like that art.
Goblins could do a lot. Elven Farsight. This is one of the Lord of the Rings cards.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Scry 3, then you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, draw a card.
Yeah. These packs, just says, might be good for handing out for Halloween too.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that expensive.
If you can find a decent number of them. In my experience, they disappear very quickly.
Not orcs, sorry, orgs. There's only 5 orgs. Sorry, I misread that.
Oh yeah.
And then Jenny's asking if you played with slivers.
I only remember 2 orgs. I remember Org from Fallen Empires, and then I remember Butcher Ogre or whatever, Butcher Org from
I ran out of Pokemon packs this year in 20 minutes. Wow. that is fast.
But yeah, these tend to disappear from Dollarama whenever they're there within a couple days. They don't last long.
Ooh, that's interesting. Anyways,
I've played with slivers before. Yes, I have. Slivers can be great fun. I actually did a little talk going through the first 3 waves of slivers. They sort of came in generations. The first one was Tempest Stronghold, and that's...
How far back was that?
Tempest Stronghold?
No,
97, 98.
No. I'm talking about when we did the live.
Oh, that was over a month ago now.
Jenny, if you go back and check out our live stream,
then
our Monday Night Magic streams,
the next wave of slivers was sort of Legion's era, and then the 3rd wave was Time Spiral, and the whole Time Spiral block was full of slivers.
Jensen says if I'm saying this wrong, I'm sorry, Soul Gorger and Trained Orgs as well.
Yeah.
And then I see YouTube. That's
another saga.
What's that one card that makes bugs tokens that can make it infinitely, and it becomes very annoying very fast. It was a green card. Bug
tokens. There's a lot of different infinite combos out there now. I remember the Hive was one of the early cards that could make bug tokens. Made, I think, was it Hornet tokens or Wasp tokens? I think it was Wasp tokens. 1/1 flying tokens, and you could pay 5 and do it every turn. And there's a lot more efficient ways to do that type of stuff now. Moth Rider Patrol. Flying, pay 4 and tap it to tap target creature.
Ooh, that's a neat looking card.
Yeah, Fox Warrior. Riding a moth. Go figure.
Yeah, you have some pretty neat slivers.
I really liked it, and I collected them fairly consistently for those first 3 waves, especially the first 2 waves. But after that, they changed up the design of the slivers. They made them look more humanoid, which I didn't appreciate. Is this a mythic? No, it's a rare. Okay. I just got caught it. It looked kind of reddish. The symbol.
Void's coming.
Yeah, well, not quite as big as Mothra, I wouldn't say. But
I like that card. It's a neat art. This one too.
This one is just...
It's neat.
Pretty funky image in the crowd. Again, these sagas and things, this was not something that I had experience with before my break. And
Waking the Trolls?
Still a little funny to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this saga enters after you draw a step. Add a lower counter. Sacrifice after 3. Destroy target land. Put a target land card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Choose target opponent. If they control fewer lands than you, create a number of 4/4 green troll warrior tokens with trample equal to the difference. So this definitely could be a finisher type thing in a land destruction deck. I could see that working, but 6 cost is expensive. Wanderer's Intervention. And that was the rare too, by the way, so I don't expect that's worth anything. Again, it just seems a little too clunky and a little too expensive to
coming for seconds.
Really be effective.
Smaller plate.
Oh, smaller plate.
Target attacking or blocking a creature, so it's an anti-creature white spell. Laid to Rest. Whenever a human you control dies, draw a card, enchantment. And whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life.
It just came out with the stuffing.
Patron of the Arts. Dragon Noble. See, that was one of the problems with the Dragon Tribe, was they didn't have very many cards that were less expensive. Most dragons cost 5 or more, usually 6 or more to play. So getting a dragon that only costs 3, that could be handy if you're trying to build a dragon deck. When Patron of the Arts enters the battlefield or dies, create a treasure token. Okay, well, dragons do like treasure, so that part makes sense at least. Not sure this art does much, but well, I guess she's still pretty large, but very sentient, very... Well, I guess dragons can be vain too, so the fancy clothing could make sense as well.
Jenny has a lot of comments at the end. Not a lot, a few.
It's okay, my mother owns the museum. Right.
So...
Have you seen Aragon the Uniter is overpowered?
And also asked if you've seen the Marvel set. We have not really looked into the Marvel set.
I haven't looked into the Marvel set much. It just didn't seem accessible because at least the stuff I saw was another secret layer, and secret layers lately at least, it just seems like too much bother to try to get a hold of because they sell out so bloody fast.
Warp 2 had some, but by the time we would have gotten there, they probably would have been sold out or something.
Well,
they did have a limit on
the specific Marvel ones were very popular. So was the Monty Python and the Holy Grail one.
Yeah.
Both of those I might have had some interest in, especially the Monty Python one, and they were just gone. So.
At least,
generally speaking, I'm not a fan of that model of doing things, especially if they're going to make it so hard to do.
At least with the Princess Bride, we were able to pre-order that, and we got it.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that I was most interested about.
Karametra's Blessing. We saw this card in the last pack. Acidic Slime. I remember when this card first came out, it was it caught some attention because it was some pretty good value. A 2/2 Death Touch was a useful body on the board for defense. And 5 is a lot these days, but when Acidic Slime enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. You're always going to be able to find a target for this. And being able to destroy a land and put a creature on the board can be good in the land destruction deck. Or just being able to get rid of an annoying artifact or enchantment. Very handy. I don't know if it's still worth the cost in today's environment, but when this first came out, it definitely caught some attention. And I'll flip these. Intangible Virtue. I remember playing this card, but I didn't have that expansion symbol, so this is a reprint from somewhere. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. There's definitely more ways to make tokens now than there used to be. So I could see this being pretty good. Making all your tokens a little bit better, for sure. That's an uncommon? I think so, yeah. Yeah. Might be worth checking the value on that one. I could see it potentially. Intangible Virtue.
Okay.
Cast Out. It's probably just been printed to death, to be honest. 2017. I don't recognize this symbol.
I was looking at something else. Intangible Virtue. Okay, just give me the card.
Flash. When Cast Out enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Cast Out leaves the battlefield. And you can cycle it for a white. I mean, 4 is a lot for that sort of effect, but it is pretty generally powerful and useful, so I could see this being potentially something I might run. And that's also an uncommon.
It's been printed several different times.
Yep.
So I'm trying to find
Ichthyomorph.
Yeah, that's
Morphosis. 3 for an enchantment. Enchanted creature loses all abilities.
That's 10 cents.
And is a blue fish with base power and toughness 0/1.
Neighbor's dog is barking again.
Ticthus's military career was a flop. Well, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. This one is like 5 cents.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at that sort of value at all. Just out of curiosity, this is uncommon too. Yeah, I expect most of these are absolute worthless, but
it's kind of fun to go through and
I guess this is my other uncommon over here. This Saiga. Did you look up the trolls?
No, you didn't ask me to yet.
That was the rare.
Okay. 6 slime 59 is
Finishing Blow was in this
looking at
pack, I
somewhere.
believe. So let's take a quick look at the breakdown for this again for drafting or
This one's
things.
been printed a lot.
Black, green, artifact,
So here we go.
green, white,
It's 8 cents.
white,
Ooh, not the cheapest.
green, red, blue, white. And then you've got those over there. So we did have a multicolor card in here. But this pack was much heavier on the white. We had 5 white cards, 4 green cards, only 2 blue, 1 black, and then artifact multicolor, only 1 red as well, except for the multicolor was green red. But this pack was definitely sort of green white heavy.
I think this one broke my iPad. It's not blowing it up. Taking forever. Oh wait, here we go. Ooh, it's only 1. And it's
Ooh, it has not been
7
reprinted.
cents.
Okay. So we found a card that hasn't been reprinted.
And it's only 15 cents.
But it's not worth much.
There's probably a reason for that.
Probably.
Waking the trolls? Okay.
That said, you get, like Intangible Virtue is going to be useless if you don't have some way to generate creatures.
Yeah, they got it.
Aragorn the Uniter does seem to be a strong card, but again, it's a card that, as I recall, that's the one that gives you the Monarch ability, and that's a whole new mechanic that I'm not familiar with, so it makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, that's
for that reason. It's also a 4-color multicolor, isn't it? Anyway, those can be tricky to work into decks.
Okay, this
in
is
my
10
opinion.
cents. There's 3 different ones, same set, but it's 10 cents.
Fair enough.
You got the cheapest one.
Yeah, of course. Does it say what set that expansion symbol is? Because I didn't recognize that expansion symbol.
A second.
Is that Dungeons and Dragons or something?
Keldheim.
Oh, that's Keldheim. Okay. That was 2021.
Piety Charm is the last comment somebody said.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the reference of the Piety Charm, to be honest.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I always find it amusing to take a look at these.
From it looks like 4 legs. Okay.
It can be fun. And I like it especially as a cheap option to do a draft with, since Fallen Empires is no longer cheap. Or, pack battles or other types of things.
I'm gonna put it back to yourself. Is there anything else we want to show? Chat about?
I mean, we could. I don't, like I said, I've got to get up early tomorrow morning, and it's been a busy day, so I'm not going to be
And you want to eat some
on here
turkey
late
dinner.
tonight. Yeah, I got my grumpy shirt on. Because
if we ever do another Santa video, wear this shirt.
is it fitting?
if you,
Oh, it was grumpy. I didn't even get the text on screen.
What series is this one from? It has. Oh, you're asking what series? It looks like it has 4 legs. Which one? One that looks like it has 4 legs. Sorry, I thought you were telling us. Okay.
Series.
Let's
Let's
put
put this back here.
Another one. Another one.
It has 4 legs.
I don't remember if that someone looks like it has 4 legs.
Are we talking about the expansion symbols or the art?
I don't know. Do you mean the expansion symbol or the art?
I mean, that has 4 legs. It doesn't look like it has 4
I don't think
legs.
that's the one.
There's the moth.
Because I can look up the card, the name of the card.
And then we're into the old ones. Or the first pack.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Didn't catch that reference, unfortunately. No, but it's neat for me to see some of these things, even if it is junk commons from sets that...
Yeah.
And it shows some of the mechanics from sets that I'd missed. I didn't finish that sentence. The Spellslinger rule books and stuff give you, your layout for that too. I showed a bit of the rule book, but...
Oh, that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And this was, again, a product that's very much teach you how to play, as opposed to things like the dual decks, which gave you 2 decks to play with. But dual decks tended to have cards from a pile of different sets, more complicated abilities. So they weren't usually the best to learn with. They did tend to be good value, because they would include some strong rares or uncommons in them that
Talk about the Piety Charm.
was handy to get. Yeah, I don't remember a card. Like, I remember a card Piety Charm. I don't remember exactly what it did, and I don't remember seeing it in this batch.
Yeah.
Am I just not?
I don't know. Unless they want you. I don't know. Let's see. I'm looking it up.
I remember the Charms were usually handy little cards that cost 1 and had 3 different abilities to choose from.
It's just taking time to find it.
Yeah. There were Charms in the Onslaught, that set that we did review for, but it wasn't the first. They started, I think, with Charms in Mirage, and they were a regular thing in mini sets. I don't think I'm going to get supper tonight. That's okay. I can take it with me for my lunch tomorrow. It looked good.
It's not coming up. I can't find it. My thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Here's a nice little Lego Christmas tree.
Yeah, we found that.
Or snow-covered pine. I think this came with the Ice Brothers blind
here it is.
box.
Okay. Oh, they're talking about this. That I think you might have had.
Oh, the Onslaught.
That's the symbol I think they were
Yeah.
asking about that had the.
Yeah, Onslaught was a fun set. It had I mean, they were starting to push creatures then, but not nearly as much as they have been now. And they started a whole set of tribal themes where you'd get interaction with the different colors through tribes that overlapped from color to color instead of a lot of multicolor cards. So that was an interesting way to do it, and I really appreciated that. It was also the last block that had the old original frames before they switched over to the new frames with mirrored in the block. So it holds a soft place in my heart for that reason as well. But to be honest, when I was really getting into the game initially, Ice Age was...
He's looking through, or they're looking through the cards.
Ice Age
so
Alliances.
they said we didn't pull it. He just...
Oh, that's what you... Okay.
Yeah, so he's looking through cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun looking through old boxes of cards. I got stuff downstairs that sometimes I forget about when going through the box and find decks that I'd built out of one of the old sets that released years ago. I remember one of the sort of core sets, I forget which one of the M series sets.
M10, M20?
Maybe. They featured all of a sudden illusions. So there was an illusionary bear for a 2/2 for 1 in blue. With the downside, if it was targeted by anything, it would die. And there was an illusionary dragon, 5/5 flying for 4 in blue. Same ability as an illusion. You also had a clone for a blue and a colorless 2-cost clone that was an illusion. So all those were very interesting to me. I did not. And so I actually went through and built an illusion deck just because I liked that idea. And there was an illusion lord in there too that was a 2/2 for 2, I think, that gave your illusions hexproof. So all of a sudden, they couldn't be targeted, and so people couldn't take advantage of that downside. So it made for an interesting little deck. It wasn't great, but
somebody was being funny. They put a Nintendo card, eShop card into the case here. I wonder who did that.
I don't know, but it could be handy for not losing it.
Yep.
We've misplaced a couple of those, and then they turn up a while later.
I don't know who did that.
Yep.
That's funny.
There's always something that comes up that those are useful for.
Yep.
Might as well finish it up if there's... Yeah. Anyway. So yeah. Didn't have a huge topic to tackle tonight, and we don't have anyone lined up to do a challenge with. But if anyone's really keen on doing my binder challenge with me, I do want to try that again.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking of new things
Trainer
to add,
Glenn, how you
add
doing?
to it. There's a couple of cards we picked up even recently, which should open up some potential for some interesting combos. It might be hard to pull off.
So you want to explain to Trainer Glenn what we were just doing? He just came in.
Basically, I just went through after last week's one where I talked about foundations, and we went through a what do they call that? A bundle.
Yeah.
Basically for foundations. Looked at the new set that's designed as sort of an introductory set, entry point to the game. It reminded me of this Splellslinger set that they came out with about 6 years ago. And I happened to have one kicking around that I think I tried teaching one of the kids the game with or something at one point. So I just thought it would be an interesting point of comparison to see how the game's changed over the last 6 years.
That might be an interesting video idea, actually, that he's asking. Sorry for interrupting. Just asking what cards you should be looking for in the 90s or 2000s. Anything worth value nowadays?
Oh boy. I mean, there certainly can be. I mean, the 90s is huge. First of all, the game started in
When did Stronghold
93.
come out?
The oldest cards don't actually have dates on them. Anything
Yeah.
pre-94, and even the earliest sets in 94 didn't have dates on them. So if you find any cards like that, that means they were from Antiquities, Arabian Nights, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited. They've all got potential if you get the right card.
TCG Player might actually be a decent resource for you to look up cards. They don't have all the cards on there necessarily, but sometimes they can find at least what a set is if you look up the name of a card.
Then there's... It wouldn't hurt to find a copy of the reserve list. It's changed over the years. They pulled all the commons and uncommons off of it after a while, and started reprinting them like mad. Which, you know, hey, if you like having easier access to find soul rings, they're everywhere now. They used to be on the reserve list. Demonic Tutor, reprinted far less often, but occasionally they still put stuff like that back out in the market. Basalt Monolith was on there. But the rares, for the most part, they've kept.
Would Stronghold have been in that section too?
What do you mean?
The Stronghold set, like a lot of Stronghold stuff.
There are a fair number of cards in Stronghold that are reserved and do hold some values.
Dual lands. I don't know when
Yeah,
this
the
came
dual lands, the classic ones with the different color rectangles in the box that don't have other downsides like all the other multi-lands they make nowadays. Those are definitely worth quite a bit. Yeah.
Just trying to pull out one of the tea bags and the string ripped off.
Okay, we'll just use the spoon.
A lot of times lands, you know, if they're good lands, tend to be cards that hold value better than a lot of other cards.
Moxes.
Wow.
If there happen to be any in
there are some cards that put Mox in the title of that are pretty worthless, but
it's a good.
But there are a lot that do have some value to them as well, especially if they were on the reserve list. Again, but yeah, that's just some of the highlights for Stronghold. I mean, that's a very specific thing. I'm trying to think of more general.
Probably just do a little bit of research. Like, if you find a card, check out what set it's from, and then you can find a card list.
The cards that were still powerful that they didn't pull out of the base set for a long time were tended to be things like Mana Crypt, or Balance lasted for a while too.
What's I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. TGTER.
I don't
know.
Anyhow.
Oh, sorry. What do you say to look at? Oh, yeah, TCG Player, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. We've got other sites that we use specifically because we're in Canada, so that a couple of the popular stores here give us a pricing that's more applicable to us anyway, generally speaking.
We just look that up to see, like, because they usually have good card lists on there if you want to find something.
And sometimes they've got even price history and tracking of how it's changed, which can be handy to see if it's something that's just recently spiked for some reason, or if it's...
And if you're talking to people from the States, then that's kind of,
or if it's having a reprint and, the price is crashing or whatever, so...
But no, it's a decent resource, and we use it for different things, and we can... I wonder if we should...
I want to start doing some shorts with some neat old combos, because there've been a lot of those over the years. My very first deck that I ever won a tournament with was a combo deck, and it took a few people by surprise. A lot of combo decks do. But once people figure out how to play around them, or at least combat them, it gets a lot harder.
The jars are rolling around on the floor somewhere.
But anyway, thanks for coming out. I do need to get to bed fairly early. Yeah. Hopefully next week we should be able to do a little bit more substantial of a stream. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But
yep, that's it.
Yeah, I want to get some more gameplay into these streams. I think that's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that or participating in that, because like I said, I could use some more challengers.
I don't know. She said to look up some places to see if something. I was halfway. Okay. I'm just saying. Check out TCG Player. You can check out the name of a card or a set. If you're trying to see what card, like what the card is from, just look it up, and then you'll match the symbols type thing. That's just how I look at when I don't know what a card is. But that's just so you can see what if there's anything of value, or you can see the set list. You can look up the set list. Well,
it can be tricky. Like a lot of the common conventions now didn't apply to the earlier sets. They didn't start color coding the expansion symbols until Exodus, and even then it was just common, uncommon, rare. The mythics didn't come into the set until after Lorwyn, probably Shards of Alara, I think, was the first set that had mythic rares in it.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, if you're looking through a pile of cards that are, older than that, even, Alliances stuff, Mirage stuff, right up to Arabian Nights, like, they're all going to be the exact same color. They're all mostly going to look black symbols, so you might think they're commons when they're really not. And they don't have the little rarity RUC at the bottom with numbered cards either. So you kind of have to know what you're looking at a little bit more with those older sets. Something to be aware of.
It should still be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
I mean, they could even go back and look some of our first streams, because you have a lot of your older stuff there too.
Yeah, I went through a few of the older sets and did discussions on Homelands, Fallen Empires, Portal 3 Kingdoms, which isn't that old. Well, it's old nowadays.
Alliance.
We did Alliances, we did
Legends.
Stronghold,
Well,
we did Tempest. We didn't do Legends as a set. We talked about a few things in Legends. I went through, not as a set, but just what I had, which isn't a lot, of Arabian Nights and Antiquities. And
how are we on
like
watch
that.
Hours? We are getting close.
We're doing well, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully we're helpful to you.
Yeah.
But he knows more than me. I just know how to look up things on the internet.
Yeah.
We are sitting at 2,729 watch hours, so we're getting there. I'd be surprised if we didn't get there this month.
Oh, we'll see. Should be. If it's into the new year, it won't be long into the new year if we're going at the same rate anyway.
I mean, this is what they've caught up to, not...
We've done well for our first year of trying this, so...
Yeah, 3K is the first level, and then I don't imagine we'll get to 4,000 before we're back into the next year of...
Yeah, then the hours will start dropping off as quickly as they're adding. So
well, no, I think because we didn't do as much early on, so but we'll see.
Anyway,
we'll see.
Yep,
we're getting there.
Thanks for all the support for coming out, and yeah, hopefully this could be interesting and or useful to you. And I've got some more ideas for stuff we can add in. It's just I didn't have a lot of time to work with tonight.
So I have mail coming from Broly. It's being sent UPS. It's taken a while because we had weather and stuff, but it was in Edmonton today, so we should have it hopefully tomorrow, unless they find another reason to delay it.
We have no idea when Canada Post will be back. They seem to be wanting to drag this out as long as possible, and their what do they call it? Picketing has even started to affect some of the other couriers and delivery services.
Canada Post owns Pure
which are already overworked because of the extra business they're getting outside of.
Canada Post owns most of Pure Later, and the workers are starting to even block their road at times, which is unfortunate. Yeah. So who knows? Yeah. We don't know when the strike will be over. Did I win a pet pony for Elizabeth? No. But if she likes ponies, we might have a few My Little Pony cards we can send her when Canada Post is open. Who knows? Yeah. So Yeah, I don't think it's. There's not really anybody. I don't know. It depends how many people are into Pokemon people. I don't really have anybody else to send people to.
No. But we're gonna wrap this up for tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Thursday. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Thursday. My mail. I'll probably save Broly's mail for Thursday, even though I'm gonna want to rip into it as soon as it gets here. And then we'll do probably just a mail day stream because there's gonna be a lot in that box. It's been loading up for a while, and then the strike happened. So I can't wait to get it. Go. So we'll probably just do we might open something, but thank you, Void. We like each other for the most part, you know. For the most part. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on this week. There'll be videos popping up throughout the week. We're doing our advent calendars and eye contact says. Yeah, well.
It's never been one of my strong suits, to be honest.
Yeah, so we have right now I had what time is it? In 11 I have the second video going up on head-to-head battles for Surging Sparks and Crown or Stellar Crown. You'd be surprised how good hits I had in those 8 packs. Yesterday was video number 1, and then I'm going to do one a day for those ones because it's awesome. After more than 5 years, he's still got that look. Yeah. We're each other's people, so I'm glad I didn't run away when I thought he was weird when I first met him.
Well, you never know.
We just kind of got thrown together a little bit more. We just always found each other together. It was a lot of
interesting coincidences.
He was funny. I found him funny eventually once I got past the weird thing. And
some similar backgrounds.
We had both gone to Kazakhstan, which was different. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I totally embrace weird. I'm like, why be normal when you can be weird? Yeah, weird's fun. Sometimes
keeps things interesting anyway.
Although you gotta hone it in a little sometimes. And that's what I'm here for. Like reasonable weird. All right, guys. Just stay tuned. Lots of stuff coming up. We do have the Secret Santa stuff that's gonna be happening soon. Go check out the Secret Santa video if you haven't yet. It's gonna be lots of fun. So if you like Pokemon, that's what that's about. It's gonna be so much fun. Hey Pokemon boys, how you doing?
Thanks for dropping in. We're just wrapping up.
We are just wrapping up, yeah. Why act like you're normal rather than being honest? Can't think of a single reason. Exactly. Read my comment. I missed a comment. Do you have a guess? Oh, I did. I read that, Founder. We don't know when Canada Post will be working again. Yeah. I don't know.
They seem intent to drag it out, so.
Yeah.
Usually they try and get these things resolved before Christmas, but.
And we don't have a government that cares to help right now.
There aren't a lot of signs indicating that at the moment.
No.
So.
We've had governments in the past that stepped in when they needed to. It's okay. It's fine. It's easy to miss when we get talking about stuff. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it gets sorted out soon because I want my mail and my bills.
It just simplifies things.
Monkey social market. Oh shoot! That reminds me. I got to get Founder's command made. Yeah. No, you're good. So yeah.
Yeah. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. And Thursday, I'm probably going to save Broly's mail for Thursday, which I want to rip into right away. I don't want to wait, but I will wait because I need something to do on Thursday. Have a good night, everybody.
Ta-ta.
What do we need? What do we need?
Toodaloo.
I don't know. Something from me? No, you're good. I need to get your command up. The one... Oh, I'll talk to you. You're good. Yeah. Bye for now, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Just wave until I get this.